Chapter 20. Tai Yi's Gift. Great Qian Dynasty. Dynasty capital. Outside the court hall. At this moment, there was a group of black-robed people standing respectfully, headed by a black-robed, red-collared man with a pale face, a middle-aged man's appearance. Great Yuan Imperial Dynasty, First-Class Grand Duke, Chongsheng, with Emperor Shu's peace request document. He seeks to see the Great Qian Sage, the red-collared black-robed man at the head said respectfully. Not far away on a step, seemingly an old eunuch-like person, a flick of the duster in his hand, faintly said, "His Holiness is at the court, wait." Chongsheng respectfully stood outside the courtroom, patiently waiting. Kayoj City. Guhai, Bingji, Shangwan Trace and their group returned to the Imperial Palace. The Great Brightness King God, who had lost face earlier, returned once again. Guhai had repeatedly asked Bingji earlier about the purpose of the Sun God Palace's visit this time, but Bingji looked left and right and did not answer positively. At this moment, in the Imperial Palace, the Great Brightness King God was staring at Guhai for a while. Hehe, Guhai, last time I saw you, you were only at the innate realm, but now you're already at the Yuanying realm. I really should have killed you earlier last time to avoid future troubles, humph. The Great Brightness King God said coldly. Guhai's eyes narrowed slightly and said, "Great Brightness King God, just say what you have to say. Sun God Palace, what exactly did you guys have to come for?" The Great Brightness King God looked at Bingji. Bingji stood aside, but was slightly silent. "You saved Nu Waho. The Lord has sent me here to thank you and give you a great gift," the Great Brightness King God said in a deep voice. "Oh, a great gift." Guhai looked at the Great Brightness King God in doubt. "You've seen the great gift, it's her." The Great Brightness King God suddenly pointed at Bingji. "Oh," the crowd revealed a wave of puzzlement. No wonder Bingji was looking left and right earlier, giving herself away. But how could she possibly say that? Bingji gave a slight salute to Guhai. "The Lord asked me to come and assist the Emperor of Great Han, to be based in the Great Han Dynasty, and to give advice for the Great Han Dynasty," Bingji solemnly said. Shangwan Trace, Tang Chu, and the others all revealed puzzled looks. Guhai, however, narrowed his eyes slightly. The Tai Yi of the Sun God Palace had sent Bingji to assist him, or to spy on himself. "You want to stay in my Great Han Dynasty?" Guhai frowned. "No one dares to disobey the Lord's orders. I came under orders and will definitely do my best to assist the Great Han Dynasty," Bingji solemnly said. "Not hundreds of millions of miles away, just to escort Bingji here." "What do you want to do in my Great Han Dynasty?" Guhai frowned. "During this period of time, I have studied the Great Han Dynasty, and the Great Han Emperor has created a peculiar position, the Legion Commander. Unlike other army chiefs, in the Great Han, the Army Chief is a class title, and you hold it very strictly. Until now, there are only two Army Chiefs only, Gao Xianzi, Chen Chanshan. Gao Xianzi is a military god, opening up the borders without any disadvantage. But that Chen Chanshan, I can't see anything yet. I'm based in the Great Han Dynasty. I don't need any other official position. I need the legionary title of Legionary Leader, which is beyond the norm. I want to be the third Legionary Leader," Bingji solemnly said. "Great Han Dynasty, third Army Chief. Hey, I wonder what you are capable of." Guhai was silent for a moment and said indifferently, "The world's holy places and heavenly dynasties, all the grudges, I'm nearly all clear. The map of the divine continents Earth, I can understand in my heart. The history of the ancient and modern great clans and great countries, I know it all. I've never lost anyone in arranging troops. Dealing with Wenjung, I believe that besides you, there is no one in Dahan who can compare to me." Bingji was not polite at all and said, "Huh." Guhai revealed a light smile. On the side, Doming Wangshen faintly said, "Hehe, Guhai, don't believe me. It's only because you saved Nu Waho that the Lord was willing to send Ice G to you. Humph. With Ice G's ability, it's not difficult to open up an imperial dynasty. Great Han Emperor, you wouldn't still be worried about my origins and not dare to use me, right? Bing Ji smiled faintly. Shangguan Trace frowned, looking at Gu Hai, previously mentioned to Gu Hai. In the impression, there is no Ice G this person. Shangguan Trace's memory, naturally, is the memory of the Zhuangwu Supreme in the past. This Ice G's origin was exceptionally strange. Gu Hai also didn't believe that Tai Yi was really giving himself a great gift. It was just that, not knowing Tai Yi, he was unable to gauge Tai Yi's mind for a moment. You want to be the third army chief of Great Han? Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Not bad, Bing Ji said in a resolute tone. The Great Han Dynasty, 24 cities on the divine continent Earth. What's the harm in compiling a ceremony to appease the people and give it to me? And if I can be satisfied with it, give you the third army chief, Gu Hai said indifferently. Good, Bing Ji nodded. Bing Ji agreed very quickly and exited the imperial palace, and naturally, the Great Brightness King God didn't want to stay here either and followed. Leaving behind Gu Hai, Shangguan Trace, Tang Chu and the others, they frowned as they watched the two leave. Your Majesty, there's something sinister about this. This Ice G came to my Great Han, perhaps for an impure purpose, Tang Chu frowned. Gu Hai nodded. I know. That Tai Yi couldn't have just sent a gift as simple as that either, but we know too little about this matter. Then, Emperor, although Bing Ji had a particularly loud mouth just now, but if she really has this ability, do you really want to appoint her as the 3rd Legion commander? Shangguan Trace said doubtfully. If she really has this ability, what's wrong with making him the 3rd army chief? Everything depends on what she can do, Gu Hai affirmed. But is she ultimately a disturbing factor? Tang Chu worried. There's no harm. I will immediately send a letter to the 9-5 Islands to let Meng Tai come to Kaoj City. The Brocade Guards have been recruiting for a while now. There should be a large number of usable people. A gravity flashed in Gu Hai's eyes. Yes, Tang Chu answered. It's just that Doming Wang Shen. But it seems to be against me at every turn. Gu Hai revealed a hint of doubt. Hehe, I may know about this matter. Shangguan Trace laughed slightly. Oh, Gu Hai looked at Shangguan Trace suspiciously. The Great Brightness King God, in the Sun God Palace, is also considered to be a number 1 figure. But he's only loyal to Tai Yi, too loyal, so loyal that when he finds out any unfavorable factors against Tai Yi, he will remove them at the first opportunity. Shangguan Trace said in a deep voice. I am an unfavorable factor to Tai Yi, Gu Hai said unexpectedly. Because you, Emperor, saved Nu Wuho, or to be precise, Nu Wuho's Earth Soul reincarnation, Zero. Zero is very attached to you, Emperor. That's a fact, isn't it? Shangguan Trace laughed. Gu Hai was slightly stunned. Although the will of Empress Nuwa is the main focus, but Zero's memories and that attachment are integrated inside Empress Nuwa's thoughts. You must know that this person, Tai Yi, was born extraordinary, had countless women in his life, no matter which woman he wanted, but never refused him. There was only one person, Empress Nuwa. He has never turned his back on her. The more he does so, the more he wants to be favored by Nu Wuho, but unfortunately, he has been unsuccessful. Tai Yi pursued hard, but couldn't get it. But you, Emperor, got Xiaoru's attachment. Tai Yi didn't say anything, but as the most loyal Tai Yi's Great Brightness King God, he naturally didn't want you to stay in the world, Shangguan Trace explained. Gu Hai was stunned. So, it's because of this that the Great Brightness King God is against me in every way. Last time in the innate remnant realm, it was also because it saw the hints that it wanted to kill me. Yes, so just as your Majesty guessed, Tai Yi sending Bing Ji is not a good thing. Does the Emperor still want to keep her around? Shangguan Trace laughed. Gu Hai shook his head and said, "No matter. If Bingji has that ability, I don't care about Tai Yi." Shang Guantrei smiled in relief. At least he chose correctly, knowing that Tai Yi is powerful, but the Emperor's rocky heart has not moved. After Gu Hai made a little arrangement, he used the Great Han's Cheluk and started to send a message to the world. The voice instantly reached the ears of all the children of Dahon. "Notice to the people of Dahon, Qinglu City, Mending Heaven City, and other lost cities of the former 12 Divine Lu dynasty have formally returned to the Dahon dynasty, the friends and relatives who have been disconnected due to the transnational in the past. From this moment onwards, they can renew their previous relationship. I have initially camped 24 cities, and I will definitely give the people of Dahon a stable and peaceful world." Boom! The sound traveled into the ears of countless people. The people of Kaoj City had been paying attention to the chair and had prepared for it. It didn't feel anything. The other people of the 11 cities sent by Huangfu Kaogwo were calling out that it was impossible. Although they had become the children of Dahon, but did not believe in the strength of Dahon, a barren island of the imperial dynasty. How capable can it be? Can take food from the tiger's mouth of the Daewon imperial dynasty. However, these words were spoken by Gu Hai himself. The king has no jokes, so it must be true. The cities of the former divine foothill imperial dynasty all returned to their places. Your Majesty is mighty. Many of the people even rose in celebration. The news of a victory was more effective than countless appeasement policies, and a large swath of the people's hearts immediately reverted. As for the people on the 9 and 5 islands, the ordinary people were uncertain, only knowing that the Great Han dynasty's territory had increased again. On the other hand, those cultivators who had just been recruited by the Thousand Islands Sea were nearly all wide-eyed. The development of the Great Han dynasty is also too fierce, isn't it? Yes, His Majesty has taken down 12 more cities in the divine continent Earth. Then, doesn't the Great Han dynasty have 24 cities in addition to the 9 and 5 islands? Luckily, I joined Great Han. I'm also a Great Han official now, ha ha ha. A bunch of newly joined officials shouted excitedly. Gu Qing was still sorting out the political affairs. Meng Tai, however, had his eyelids fluttering furiously. The stronger Dahon became, the more power he had. It's only been 2 years. Not counting the 9 and 5 islands, Great Han had already struck 24 cities in the Divine Land. So what would happen in the future? If it was himself, it would be absolutely impossible. Meng Tai, the last trace of ambition is gone. Now are mine to try to grasp their own Jinuei. A valley at the intersection of the Great Han Dynasty and the Great Yuan Dynasty. Chongming, the former 8th Legion commander of the Northern Expeditionary Army, had been meditating in the valley after obtaining the Savage Inheritance. What a powerful technique! Ha ha ha, Gu Hai villain. When my divine power is complete, let's see me flatten your Kaoj city and wipe out my former shame. Hey ha 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 ha. Chongming was in the midst of his complacent cultivation. Around his body, he emitted a rolling black aura, and in the black aura, countless scarlet bats were constantly flying. The bats looked countless times more fierce than last time, and their power seemed to be countless times more powerful as well. Chongming was mindfully cultivating his divine skill, completely unaware that his family, the Chong family, was now looking for him like crazy. Zhenan City. Shenwu King's study. Gao Xianzi sent this. King Shenwu looked at the report in front of him. Sima Changkong said, with a slight bitter smile, yes, Gao Xianzi has been in a full-scale war with the army of Daewon. The battle is incredibly fierce and has attracted most of the Northern Expeditionary Army's troops to surround it, and now sends a letter over to ask the Marshal to send troops to support it, using our troops to help defend the country for Dahan. Gao Xianzi, he's really bold, and dares to write a report to the Marshal to ask for help. Humph, A strategist let out a cold snort.